just got done mulching half of a bed here. Maybe a little bit more than half. But all my corn that's popping up, you can see it. It's doing well. I've never mulched with grass before. So this is the first time. I really wanted to lay it on thick. Surprisingly enough, even though you see all the cracks in the dirt up here, it actually is holding moisture pretty well. So I'm not too worried about the moisture. I've only had to water twice since planting, which is great because I do have to pull the hose from way over there. But it's been raining off and on every couple weeks, so I've been fortunate enough to not have to water, which is great. But I've heard that grass mulching does wonders because it puts more carbon back into your soil. So we'll see how that works. Robert was a little hesitant because of any seeds in the grass that might be in the cut grass, that we might end up fighting even more grass up here, which, as you can see, all of the grass is growing back pretty quick. It's also in between plants in the beds, like here. It's all kinds of different grasses and weeds. So again, it's just the constant pulling as we are up here. But if I can do a thick layer of mulch to kind of snuff out all these grasses where they won't reach the sun, then who knows? I won't have to do it as much maybe. Another method I want to try to do is to mulch with hay. But of course we have to get hay in order to do that. So we'll see. But we have flowers coming up over here. Zinnias. And we have onions here and there with our tomato plants. Those were leftover sets of onions, so they were late going in. I'm not sure if they'll actually produce by the time I need to pull them out, but we'll see. Today we picked out some peppers, one of each that we have. So we do have probably, 25 more plants up at the house. But I haven't really been diligent enough with the fertilizer on them, so their root structure still is not the best. So these are my test peppers. See if they make it in the sun and the weather. They have been outside in 4-inch pots for the past couple weeks, but they've kind of been under a shade cloth as well because they get all wompy. And as you can see, a slug was getting to them. So there's that. Another thing I noticed with the tomato plants up here is all these little holes and kind of rust-like marks, which it's only on the lower leaves. So this one's starting, but the top leaves look fine. So I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it's just the splash up from the ground, and this is why I've been kind of pruning the lower leaves so it doesn't touch the ground, because you don't want diseases, and tomatoes are infamous on getting diseases from their leaves touching the ground. So I've been going through and trying to take those off, and I've been adding string as I go. I didn't do it correctly for the first and maybe even the second layer of string because it wasn't tight enough, but I think I got this method down for this third layer that I just put on. So we shall see as the tomato plants start growing more and getting more unruly how this method is really going to work for us. Okay, in true fashion, I planted a bunch of stuff, probably closer than I should have, but peppers, as they grow, sometimes they will lean, and so sometimes people will stake their peppers. But I have seen some people plant their peppers close together, so when they start to lean, they lean on each other and support each other. We have a bunch of different peppers up here, all kind of scattered, because I did 5 test peppers up here just to make sure that they were making it in this weather. But it's supposed to rain today, so I wanted to get the rest out here. We have Tam jalapeno, which is not a very spicy jalapeno. So we have 4 of those here. And all the other ones here are kind of labeled because they are all spread out. This one's an Anaheim. We have a bell pepper. This one is a Serrano, bell pepper, a Carmen pepper, which is new to us, Anaheim, Tam, jalapeno, Anaheim, and the rest are banana peppers. Typically, you don't want to plant your sweet peppers next to your hot peppers because of cross-pollination. But really, I had no other room, and I already sacrificed 3 peppers because I couldn't fit them. So on the other end here, we have 2 sweet banana peppers and the Anaheim. These next 3 are Serrano, I think. Nope, I lied. Bell peppers. And then these 3 are the Serrano peppers. And then another Carmen pepper at the end here. And then as you can see, the onions, I think I pointed this out the other day, but the onions are popping up along the row there. I went through as I was planting and I pulled as much grass as I could find, but it's just a continuing process. As you can see, this side is not done. All the peas here, we have a bunch of grass growing in between. And then these are ornamental gourds, which I've yet to grow before. There's 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4 on each corner, and then the outside corner here. And then these are my pickling cucumbers. They're really starting to take off now, which is great. Again, I'm like 2 weeks behind on planting just because of the time frame that we started everything when we got here. So the corn's still doing pretty well. Happy with that. This is day 3 of the grass mulch. I haven't seen any of the grass pop up because when I put the mulch on, we did have little grasses like this. I didn't pull them before I mulched it, hoping just to snuff it out and not have to deal with pulling it each time. But as you see, I didn't mulch all the edges, so there are some grasses popping through. So we'll see how it works out. I'll try a couple different methods as I have the option to. So if we have an option of hay, then of course I will heavily mulch with hay. But right now we have plenty of grass because when we mow a bunch of grass. And so we will have a bunch of grass clippings for me to mulch the rest of the beds. And then we actually have a flame weeder. And so I think I'm going to go through and weed the walkways with that. These walkways aren't too bad. I kind of pulled as I went, but the outer edges, as you can see, is pretty bad. So we'll try that and see how it goes. But other than that, everything's looking pretty good up here. We got our flowers. These look like weeds, but they are flowers. I think they're called status flowers. We do have onions in between because we just had the extra land and just planted wherever. I think this one is a brown-eyed Susan. And then, of course, we have our zinnias, different colors. I think all of these are brown-eyed Susans, to be honest. We got a mixed pack of flowers, so when we planted them, we didn't have any idea what they were going to be. So a lot of them are probably the brown-eyed Susans, but that's fine because I like them. I think they're pretty. Okay, so it is a little bit less hot out. I think it's only supposed to get to 73 today, but 74% humidity. But I'm in the shade, so it's not too bad, and I'm finally getting around to painting the coop. I'm going to do it a little bit at a time as the weather allows and as we have free time, because of course we bounce from project to project. But today is kind of a do your own little thing type day. So Robert's working on the flooring in the house, painting that to seal it. And then I think later he's gonna actually go into the Connext to rearrange some stuff, because we're coming up to 90-degree weather days this next week, and the Connex is super hot all the time. We do want to put some vents on it, but we're kind of torn whether or not that's going to actually help or possibly make it worse by creating moisture inside the Connex. So we're debating that. So while we're debating that, we're going to pull out some stuff to put in the house just to make sure that, you know, like nothing's melting, whether it's electronics or his Legos. And then we got to rearrange the Connex itself. So huge project, pain in the butt project, but nothing that's really, you know, fixing the house per se or improving the property per se. So that's just the type of things that we kind of run into. We still have our day-to-day stuff that we're trying to do while we're doing all these projects. So, and because it is just me and Robert doing the majority of the projects, things are going slow. But, you know, we'll get there. Right now I am working on painting the remaining sections in the nesting box that I didn't get to with the Kills paint. And then, so once I'm done with that, I'm probably going to start on the purple. Just because I don't have much paint with the purple, and right now I don't have the big roller because Robert took the big roller to do the dining room project. So I'm going to work on the small spaces with the purple, see how far it takes me. You know, eventually this will be painted and it'll look pretty. But as of right now, it's just going to be a little bit at a time. So it is what it is. Okie doke, all done with the purple. If you don't look too closely, it looks okay. You get to a certain point where you just want to slap on the paint and be done with it, especially when it's hot out. So I'll show you guys and let me know what you think. Ta-da! So I got the purple on the door, the legs, and then the little rafters, and the nesting door, or box door, whatever, the little stairs, and then their little door here. So there she is. Isn't it pretty? So I still need to do the teal for the majority of the coop, and then the white trim, and then of course we still have trim pieces to put on. Not exactly sure how I want to go about with the ramp. I might just do all teal, because as you can see, I was sloppy with the paint, and there is purple on the sides here. So I might just go over it with the teal, call it a day. But overall, I'm happy to be done, because painting is not really something I enjoy. But I do want things to look nice, and there's a certain way and color and all that stuff of how I want it. So I spent the time today doing it.
Like and subscribe for more amazing content, and comment down below what you liked most about this video.